So there is a share that I have been sitting on for, it's been over a month for sure. This is one where before I went to sleep, I was talking to God. I was having a conversation like I do when I'm by myself. I do it all the time. And I was just asking for an in-depth understanding about this place that we live in and why we are allowed to experience so many of the things that we experience, and for doubt to be planted in us. Like so many people are non-denominational, or they choose to not like to be atheist. It typically spans from the primary people who showed them love and who gave them love in their lives. These people that were seemingly allowed to be lost or to have passed away, that people not even concerned with, well, your grandmother or grandfather would have been in their 100s, but what would have been their quality of life at that age? While you're so sad and angry and bitter that they're no longer here, or you're, angry, sad, and bitter that your parents let you down in the way that they let you down, and how could God have allowed that? Forgetting that that's exactly why you have been shaped into what you are today. The good parts of you, yes, the bad parts that are a product of that abandonment or of that abuse, but the good aspects of you too. This is what helped you to step into the role as a man or as a woman with the integrity and the consistency that you do, is because those things were allowed to happen. And then we are also forgetting that, your parents and grandparents, they were on their path. They have their own life and their own path and their own series of choices that they had to make, that they're making, that they had to make. Like, there's just no getting around that. And people forget that. They get so caught up in their emotions and that feeling of loss, and someone has to be blamed. And who better than God? And so in my conversation with God on this particular night, which I've debated for now, it's like I said, it's been almost 2 months now. It's been well over a month and a half. I think it's closer to 2 months, where I asked to have the conversation with him. Why don't you visit me in my dreams with all these lucid dreams that I've been having, and these deep sleeps. I know that I'm receiving download after download. It's information about a bunch of juicy things, right? So in the dream, I found myself in the mountains. Well, it started out in a mountainous territory, and I was there with people that I've known my whole life, people that I haven't seen since I was in the second grade, people that I haven't seen since I was like a little girl in my grandmother's Sunday school class. Like, I know these faces, I know these names, and we know each other, but we are all obviously very different. And long story short, the God presented to me blue. He had blue skin. He looked, I think it's a Hindu god. I'll have to look it up and show you who I'm talking about. But this is who came to me in a dream. And I knew in the dream, like, this isn't even your actual, like the actual form of you. This is the version that you are allowing me to see in this dream. And maybe it's because maybe I think that we would be afraid with our human eyes to actually lay our gaze upon the God in his actual form. If he, she, or they allowed us to see them, I don't think that our human minds could comprehend. We don't have the capacity to understand beyond our fear. That's what I really believe in my heart. The idea that we're made in God's image, I do believe, is God's image to per our understanding. For a lot of people in their dreams, it's, people testify, their image, they see themselves. Kind of like when you hear the voice to yourself. Like if you silently say your name in your head. I feel like something's biting you, but you look and there's nothing biting you. Anyway, he was blue. And all I know is that when I saw him, I knew that he was supernatural. And I challenged that he even was God. And I tried to run. And it's like he had feet that kind of looked like human feet, but they were not exactly human. They looked like a lion's paw, kind of like what Lion-O's foot would look like from Thundercats. I mean, he was beautiful and magnificent, but he was definitely blue. He was blue, and he did have the multiple arms. I'm going to find the image and I'm going to put it here. But anyway, before I ran, and I did run definitely, because I was just trying to outrun him like you. Show me what you are and who you are. And he didn't speak to me. He never opened his mouth. He was in front of me. I never actually heard his voice. And I'm going to tell you, I'm calling him a he. He definitely had dual energy. I'm not going to confirm and just say, well, he was a hermaphrodite. He had both genitalia. Like, it's people who would try to dig on that and be like, what did you see? Did he have breasts like a woman? No, he had a beautiful body of a man, but there were feminine aspects of his face. There were feminine aspects of his hair. There were feminine aspects of his body, period, of his being, of his energy, of his aura. Like, there were high, like very equally strong feminine. Just because he had abs and pecs like a man, like the rest of him was like questionable. But anyway, I tried to have the conversation, and it's like I heard my voice, but my language was not English. My language was not actually my language. And I think it's because the English language overseas, they call American English a bastard language. And I think I get that. Anyway, and for the most part, I get that. But this man, this being, and our interaction, it's like I was filled with like is wanderlust the word? I'm going to look up wanderlust, because wanderlust is the first word that comes to mind. It's a wanderlust and amazement and fear, like overwhelming fear. And I pushed him to see if he would push me back. I held out my hand, and he held out his, and I was just like, I pulled my hand back to see, like, are we mirroring each other? Put my hand out, pull my hand back, and it's like he looked at me, his gaze, like his body was substantially, he was bigger than me. I'm a big woman, I'm tall, I'm full figured, and he was like triple my size. He made me look fun size. He was such a big, anyway, when I started to ask the questions, what are we? Will this repeat? Are you also the trees? I'm asking for confirmation for things that I say that I know in my heart. I know that God is everything, right? I'm saying that while I'm asking God in front of who I believed was God. And I was like, show me that you're God. I've already asked before I even went to sleep for God to show me. So in the dream, I'm questioning him again. And it's just like, it wasn't frustration, but it was like a very persistent, like, what more do you want me to do? I'm standing right here. And I remember some of my thoughts. I thought, well, like, you can make anything. You can make it so. Whatever I'm thinking, whatever I desire, whatever I'm curious about, why don't you bring a whale over here into the forest and show me a whale in the sky? And that whale appeared. A whale that had to be at least 50 to 70 something foot whale appeared in the forest. I turned around to run, and the way that this God, I know that this was God. He pursued me. He was behind me. Like I knew that I couldn't outrun him, but I was running anyway because I became afraid. I became overwhelmed emotionally. I didn't want to cry in front of him, and I pushed him. I struck him. I tried to yell and see if I could just to make him say something to me. And I asked him, what does this mean? And why can I not hear your voice? And I think it's like intuitively, I know that one of the reasons why maybe I didn't get to actually hear his voice and hear him speak is because the moment that he would have said spoken a language that was foreign to me, I wake up, I'm going to go right to Google Translate, and I'm going to speak whatever I heard into Google Translate. And I think that there's some aspect of God that will always be hidden from us, because it's the reason, it's like it matters why you are seeking. You cannot be seeking God to validate, like, God, show me that you exist, when your existence is proof that he exists, because you couldn't exist except for that the God existed. And anyway, I'm speaking outside of the dream. But anyway, I ran, and God challenged me. It's like we came to an opening in the forest where there was an axe that was on a tree that had already been cut down. So it was on the stump. It was embedded in the stump. And I took the axe out and I threw it. Not that I was even trying to necessarily hit God, but I wanted to see if he would try to dodge it. And he didn't. And it hit him. It struck him. Like, I'm not going to say where it struck him, but then it melted right through him. And that axe hit the ground. So then I really got afraid. I fell down on my knees, opened up my eyes, and he was just standing there. And so I began to run, and I was like, so if you are God, then no matter where I go, I'm going to see you. So, or will you turn into something else or someone else if I turn my back and I start to run from you? Just like a child, constantly challenging, constantly questioning. And it made me look at my life like we do that, or at least I do that in so many other aspects of my life, like in the real waking world. Like, I know that I do that. And let me turn this down. But like this God went into the ground and rose back up above me. And I mean, it was, then I woke up. You ever had one of those dreams where you wake up in the middle of the night after like being in what seemed like the never-ending dream, never-ending story type dream, and then you go back to sleep and fall right back into, anyway, you ever wake up from one of those dreams and then fall back to sleep and fall back exactly where you left off at? Like that happened to me in this dream, and I was just like, it's like I was terrified and I was amazed, and I was in awe. Like the emotions, I woke up still feeling that. But what I knew for sure was that the God was real. And I just couldn't figure out why he presented and showed up the way that he did. Are you trying to tell me that this is the original version of you after you've, did the whole vibration through the sound? This is the true form of you that you're showing to me. That you're showing to me. Of all of the versions, you could be the elephant head with the trunk. You could be the Jesus on the cross. You could be the son. Like, you could be like, why did you choose this one? What does this even mean? And anyway, I sat on that for a month. I told some people in my family about it. Obviously, I wrote it down. I journaled it. And this is not all of it. I'm just saying that dream has come. But I've had many dreams. Whenever I ask for the meeting. I ask for the, and you know what's so weird is that whenever I get it, our conversation, it's like I lose my words because I'm just in such a state of awe. I am like starstruck. You know how it showed how the children would get in the movie It, where it's like once they see him, they're in a trance. They're in a trance. You don't have anything necessarily to express. You may have had it, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. You don't know what you don't really know what to expect when you actually when you receive the gift of the audience of the God. Like, I will never forget it, especially like this last time. But for me, like, my guardians, they come in so many different forms. Like, do you ever see your spiritual animals or totems in your dreams? If you have recurring dreams about turtles, about birds, about cows, about dogs, about cats. Did I already say cats? Because, like, cats are amazing. Anyway, so I got these new earrings. I want to know what you think. Yeah, and it is 1:29 in the morning. And see, and there are some people who would even test like my worthiness to even be able to have this conversation. Like, she's talking about God and Jesus, and she got that crystal around her neck. I also have a whole bunch of fat around my belly that suggests that I'm not disciplined with my body, which some people would say that means I don't love myself. I don't love myself enough because I'm not disciplined like that, but they don't really know me. And then some spiritualists would say, well, that's just anyway, people look at the wrong things. All of it's in there. All of it's in there. Like, for me to reduce myself, I feel like we reduce ourselves and we shrink ourselves in our understanding and our knowledge based on the control and the hype from these religious doctrines. These boundaries and these rules are set. Like, you want someone to believe that God came. Anyway, I'm not even going to get skeptical in my message. But anyway, initially when I got off of work, what I wanted to talk about was relationships, because people have been asking me lately, like, why are you single? How are you single? And you know what it takes me back to when I think about why I'm single? Before I can even get on that, let's talk about how come I don't have a circle of friends, or the same circle of friends that I used to have. Let me tell you, whenever my situation started to kind of slide, like, I come on here and I talk about my situation. It's not to say this is what happened to me and it could happen to anyone. No, it actually is some of that, because there's so many people who they suffer in silence. They don't think that anyone, first of all, that anyone would believe them, or they don't think that people actually care. Well, I do care, because I've seen some of the most, like, this actually happened. I witnessed it. I saw someone else go through it. I've gone through it. And here's how I survived. Here's how I am surviving. This is the means. This is the ideology that I've been living by. These are the rules that I learned to see that they exist for those of us who are vibrate as I do, who have this knowledge, who have this religious or spiritual discipline. Those of us who have taken a stance, and we've used our voice. We've chosen to use our voices to liberate others and to educate others and to wake others up. Like, you want to know who is in control and who actually means to control is the people. Whoever restricts your ability to tell the truth, to speak the truth, or even just to express yourself, period. That is who, I won't say that is who is in control. That is who means to control. That is who means to control. That is who means to control. That's who means to control. I use my voice to liberate others. I can help validate some of your suspicions and some of your ideas and some of your feelings. Some people just need a soundboard to bounce their experiences off of. And they can be like, well, yeah, I believe that happened. Like, whenever my cousin reached out to me and told me what was happening with her career at the state, how she had been consistently showing up, and the integrity and the level of, like, she was a sound employee. And she went from being that and just to being very celebrated in her position to now she's an outsider and she's cast out. And you all, it's a real thing for people to be blacklisted and blackballed. That can happen. And to me, I'm going to tell you that the people who have the capacity to do that, if you restrict someone else's ability to earn a wage that they qualify for this hourly rate, or they qualify for this salary because they do have this skill set, they do have this experience, and you impair their abilities to provide for themselves, I believe that should be a crime. I don't know yet that it is a crime. I suspect that it is. I think that it's a crime. When these companies, this is why the states, and probably the states that do it the most, are the states that have those at-will laws. They can terminate you for any old reason because they know that they own some bullshit. Anyway, so whenever I think about, just going back to the original topic, about when someone asked me how come I was not more socially active, how come I don't have a boyfriend, and how come I'm not dating anyone, and I gave the feedback about just like when I looked up and it's people that they saw my life falling apart. I done lost my job. I've lost my home. I still had my car, but I was taking care of so many people. It's just like I know that I was being used by God. I was being used to take care of these people, not just my children. A couple of their friends, a couple of their significant others were with me. A couple of other members of my family, people were staying with me. And it's like, if you've restricted my ability to provide for all of us, that may very well be a part of God's plan. A part of their life journey and their path was for the bottom to be dropped out from up under all of us. But the people who were directly responsible for that, do you think that you can step into a space that is being curated for all of these different people, that you've turned their lives upside down because you wanted to play with my life, and there would be no repercussions? Like I'm smiling, but there's nothing funny about it. And I don't feel good about what I know is coming to these people. I know some people who also lost their jobs. They lost their homes. They had a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage yet. But I'm just saying, the people who meant to take from me, they took that. And so my point is, whenever that was happening and I was going through it, whenever that was happening and I was actually going through it, I came across some of the intentions of my friends, that they began to question why I wasn't available to kick it with them. They wanted me to come over. I'm cooking dinner. Can you come over? I'm going to have dinner, or we're having dinner and I would love to see you, or let's go out for drinks, or do you want to go out of town? And I was just like, so before I lost my job, I was, I go to work and I go home. And when I would go home, if I was in my room, then people would be in my room, or I would be in the living room. But I'm very dedicated to my family in that way, very disciplined. And it's like, it's not even that I didn't want to kick it, but like my kick it was for them. And it's like it hurt me. Like I had to acknowledge, like, you're not really my friend, because I'm telling you that my life is being turned upside down, and you feel some kind of way because I'm focused on unsinking my ship and taking care of myself and stabilizing myself, and you're taking that personally because I don't want to come out to play. Like, I just feel like a real friend wouldn't have that position. A real friend wouldn't view or perceive my reluctance to kick it through those eyes. Not my real friends, not my real family. That ex, I told you guys a couple of years ago that ex caught me sleeping in my car at Walmart. It hasn't quite been 2 years. It may be like a year and a half that he caught me sleeping in my car. And he invited me to his house, cooked me a meal, let me take a really good nap. I felt completely safe. I went to sleep, and I was so exhausted that I fell asleep while he was talking. And whenever we were together, I could have listened to him. I listened to him for days at a time. We would go to sleep, exchanging philosophical conversation, religious conversation. We could talk about anything and wake up talking about it, spend the whole day just in each other's energy, digging in each other's minds. I was so tired when he caught me that day and so ashamed. And I was just like, I just kind of feel like I shouldn't have been there. I knew that he was involved with someone else. And I was like, I can't be here like this. Like, you want to help and bring me in and have some good conversation. And then what? Then I go back to my car that I'm living in. Like, I'm not, like, he's not thinking about this right. And my mother called coincidentally and was like, she was waiting for me because she had been telling me to come over. And I was resisting her. I never did go to her house. I just found a different place to park at. And I'm just saying that was the last time that I was out there socially, anything like the people that were looking for me, and I wasn't ready to come out. Like, I don't quite feel ready because I'm not back into my own space yet. So which I'm going to come over and kick it with you and go out to dinner or go out dancing with you. And then what? And then go where after that? How you settle your evening is not how I'm going to be settling mine. And I need to be thinking about that. I'm thinking about that. So it's just like, when it's time for me to come out and play, then I will. But in the meantime, like, and as far as me being like single, it's kind of just like the friendship thing. Like, there's this one friend that I used to have that he used to drive trucks, and he would travel, and he traveled all over the country, really. And he would come here to the south central region, and he's like, yeah, we're driving through your state, driving through Oklahoma. Maybe I could see you at this stop. I haven't seen you in years. He's not even trying to, like, he has a whole wife, basically, that he has. I know of this woman. He's not even trying to come on to me. It's not even like that. This man's actually a mentor to me. He was a true, like, a real friend. And, but again, like, the last time that he was in my energy and around me, the last time he had access to me, he did reach out just to see me, but he didn't know the severity of my situation. And again, this is a mentor. I could not accept his invitation to come. I'm like, I just have a few days to get my things together and move me and my children out of here. I don't even have anywhere to move us to. And you want me to focus on leaving this house like I'm leaving them, and we're actively packing just to put, like, I didn't even have a storage. I didn't have anything. The end was drawing near. And his disappointment when I could not, like, I didn't think it was responsible for me to break away from what I was focused on, just to come and be social with him. I was like, we're gonna have to do it another time. And then I tried to. I went ahead and sacrificed that time and tried to. And because, like, I missed him literally by just a few minutes, like, I drove several, like, I'd say a good 20 miles, 15, 20 miles at least, just trying to keep up with him and to say, hey, I'm out. And I got to be right behind you somewhere. Where are you? Just trying to, I thought about that and I was like, my friend wouldn't have even been trying to pull me. Like, a friend would have understood my situation. Anyway, so when I come on here, it's not like, woe is me, this happened to me. Some of that is in there. It's just my testimony. And it's not supposed to all be pretty. I'm going through. This is where I am in my life right now. It's not how it's always been. And it's not gonna always be like this. But if I can just get through this part, then the next part of my journal or my diary, virtually here on this channel, then I'll get to celebrate with my, like, I'll celebrate with my audience and anyone who wants to tune into the update of my story, of my life, the things that I'm sharing. And I don't share every single detail, everything. I share a lot of what I've gone through, and even things that I'm, like, actively going through, like right now. Like, I share that, and some of it is perspective, and then the rest is just like, I do mean to help people, others who might be in a similar situation. Because how many times have you had to start from scratch? You're in this is a new job, a new home, a new car, a new circle of friends. You maybe have even shed off some family members, maybe picked up some new family members that you're closer to than the other family members that you used to be close to. Like, it's a whole new chapter. It's a whole new chapter. And then we are in Mercury retrograde. Do you know what Mercury retrograde is? What that means? Check it out. Now, the people who are more religious than spiritual would look at me talking about planetary alignments like, yeah, that's divination. How is it divination? Did not the God create the planets? Or do you think, per the Bible, that he only created the planet Earth? The God said that he would put those signs in the stars and in the skies, and those who diligently seek God would know how to read those signs. This is why I don't play religion, why I don't play religious, why I don't talk to people in depth about what I believe, how I believe, why I believe. I'm not here to coerce you away from Christianity or away from whatever you currently believe, or to turn you on to anything that I believe. Because what I believe is constantly evolving with my understanding of what I've been taught. Kind of like your understanding, like if you think you live in one of those cities that they have these great monumental buildings that were built before the tools existed for the buildings to be built. There's very little explanation. There are no blueprints. There's no know-how documented so that we can replicate these miracles. This building here was built, right here, was built some, I don't know, 800 years ago, 5,000 years. And it's like, if I'm expressing, like, so much grief is happening, like I'm weathering a storm right now, is what it actually is. I am weathering a storm. And I know just enough, right? It's not a whole lot, but just enough to know that I'm not the only one weathering a storm. Here's what I'm going through, and here's some of what I'm doing while I'm going through it, because my life is not the storm that's happening around me. I'm still a person. I'm my own individual person, and the rest of my life is also still going. I'm still a mother. I'm still a daughter. I'm still a niece. I'm still I'm an auntie. Speaking of aunties and uncles, man, you think back to some of the ways that your aunties and uncles were with you whenever you were a child, the standard that they held you to when you were a child, the treats that they gave you, the experiences that they gifted you when you were a child. Just thank God for aunties and uncles, okay? Thank God for them. My aunties used to give my mother the break. Two of them in particular would come by and pick me and my sisters up. We thought it was just because they loved us, but really the big focus really was their sister. Because yeah, they wanted to see us, but we relieve each other in that way. Well, I'm an auntie now, and there are some things that I remember that my aunties did and said, and sacrifices that they made for me and my sisters, that I know now that it was. I mean, I knew then, but I really know now as an adult that it was nothing but love. It was nothing but love to Yudi. It was nothing but love to Yella. It was nothing but love to Brenda. It was nothing but love to Gail. It was nothing but love to June. It was nothing but love. It was nothing but love to Sharon. I know that you loved me. I know that you loved my mother. I know that you loved my sisters. I know that you loved our family. And I love you back. I have this one uncle, while I have so many things that I'm learning about him as an adult, what I remember of him the most is when his sisters, a couple of them in particular, were particularly mean to me or perceived to be, they were being very hard on me. He would find me when I would be by myself at the foot of the stairs crying, feeling left out, just feeling different, feeling cast out, feeling attacked, and terribly misunderstood. He would come and give me a piece of green Wrigley's gum, and I loved it. Have you ever had the feeling you were being watched? Do you meditate? When you meditate, where are your thoughts at? How do you center yourself and quiet your mind? What are some of the methods and techniques that you use? Some people turn on music. Some people chant mantras. You don't have to chant it. You can think it, too. Okay, it's 1:58. I know I need to get in. Have you been unusually tired lately? They say that those are symptoms of ascension and spiritual upgrades, that you're receiving downloads so that you can upgrade and step into the next cycle of your life. Because if you think about it, whenever something new is getting ready to start, you are going to need all of your energy. So you should be resting more. I mean, we should be getting a solid amount of rest anyway. And if it's true what is being speculated, that we are multidimensional beings, we don't solely exist here in the 3D. If it's true that when we go to sleep, wherever we drift to in our dreams, that these are real places. This is a place that really exists. Like, for those of us who are busy and active in our dreams, sometimes it can cause you to wake up feeling super exhausted. Even though you may have rested your physical body, your spiritual body sometimes can be going to war against the negative energies and intentions set against you from other people. You could be actively completing tasks and having conversations with people and entity and maybe yourself even, but you're receiving upgrades. That's information that's being communicated to you and transcribed in your dream that just kind of brings understanding to situations that maybe you needed clarity in, and they're meant to aid you and make you stronger while you're on your journey. Like, I mean to help. I know that there are the people who cannot relate to what I'm saying and the types of information that I share. Maybe those are the people that come on to my YouTube and to my TikTok that flag my content as if I've broken, like I violated some policy, and because I said this, and this, then there's a restriction placed on my account, only for me to appeal it, and then the appeal is approved. Not sometimes, every single time it's approved. There should be some, we got all these gatekeepers, right? There should be some people watching out. This account and this account and this account are always reporting all of these channels. It's just people go so far just to compete for a space that anyone can just randomly turn on YouTube and end up on this channel or their channel. I haven't started to pay for the sponsorship. So I don't have commercials I don't have commercial breaks during my shares and my uploads, because I'm not trying to monetize. I'm not trying to make anything off of anything. When I get to it, I haven't even solicited anyone to necessarily subscribe. I may ask you, I just express gratitude for the view because I am grateful for the view. But if you look back, whenever I first started posting, I'll go sometimes months with only getting 4 or 5 views, sometimes 1 or 2 views, and then I'll have a month where I'll get a bunch more views. It doesn't mean that I'm not taking it seriously. I am taking it seriously. I've been kind of using it as a tool, but at the same time, it's yes, I'm getting this out of my system and I'm expressing myself, and I do want to help people. When I get if I consistently had this many views, then I would show YouTube the respect of the sponsorship and commercial breaks that promote these other companies. Everything is not about money, guys, and I feel like we all should be supported. This is what I'm choosing to do with my channel. And there's nothing wrong or negative or bad about it. There are some groups of people that might not like it, that I'm shining a light on them or on what they practice and how they do. but it's mostly my perspective. And if you do your own homework and you find the truth in what I'm saying, if you find what I'm saying to be the truth, then okay. But I'm not meaning to attack or to single anyone out. So I hope that no one is taking it that way, because that's not the case at all. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn in. And thank you so much for joining me on this Conscious Rant. I would love it if you would become a part of my community and support my channel. Your views, I appreciate your views. I would love your like. I would love your subscription. I would love you to send me your ideas and your suggestions, so I can further tailor and curate my content to reach a more broader audience. What we intend whenever we communicate is not always what is intended, is not what is always received. And so, like, I don't want to miss the mark. And so if you ever view any of my content and it causes you to question, well, what does she mean by that? I'm inviting you to ask me, what did I mean by this whenever I said this or when I said that? And I don't mind clarifying, because I genuinely mean to help. I'm not ever just trying to say, well, so-and-so and so-and-so did this to me and just leaving it out there. There's all the bottom line to everything that I'm saying is, yes, this happened, but since this happened, this is what I learned. This is what it taught me. This is what caused me to lean in this direction and to adopt this belief system, or to move like this and to change like this. This is how it evolved me. And my hope is that you'll see yourself in me for those who resonate. Because if you don't resonate, no, I want you to look at the content that you resonate with. If that happens to be videos about cows, or about electronics, or about technology, or about the solar system, or about insects, or about, I don't know, relationships solely, or about food, like whatever you resonate with is what you should be subscribing to. And I'm hoping that people can relate to me and that they understand me. I don't really get a lot of feedback these days, so I honestly don't know. Like, in my heart, I know. And I don't necessarily need to see it in YouTube, but it would be nice. So I'm inviting you to share your feedback with me. Okay. Thank you for joining me on yet another Conscious Rant.